Hello, Penten. Over the holidays, I've gotten personalized reading coaching with the help of my sister for mental confidence, aim ergonomics, and valuable mechanics to keep in mind. And this is all knowledge I've been wanting to let out to y'all, but I wasn't able to do it in a organized way. I also want to share my perspective of gun mechanics in Valorant and my routine. I'm really dedicated to help you, so please send me a VOD of you playing on rated normally, so I can lend you a fully customized playlist for fixing very specific attributes of your aim. Later on, I'll show you my routine and a much more efficient way to process your training overnight. Hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. There are two ways of doing this. You either position yourself around the corner and follow around in a disciplined manner, or position your crosshair at the wall so when you're peeking, you're aiming at a specific point and try to predict the position of your enemy. And neither are wrong, because it still follows the same idea of knowing where you place your crosshair. If you're going against average players or ranked players, they're going to be a lot more predictable because they position themselves in very commonly held angles, so either way of aiming is fine. But top advanced players, they commonly abuse more off angles. Since your crosshair placement is going to be in commonly held angles, they can offset that by holding a rarely held angle. Pre-aiming is acceptable if your mechanics can keep up and adjust quickly, but at a higher level of play, it's more recommended to be more thorough with checking your angles. Try making the option, the first one, a habit in your deathmatches so you can implement it better in your games. You'll know when to pre-aim and when to follow around. I'm going to show you a clip or two here of me implementing this in my deathmatches, and you'll get a better perspective and understanding as how I'm comfortable peeking these angles. Passive aim or crosshair discipline is often a very underrated topic and can get confused with crosshair placement. These are not the same things at all. This is best summarized as making every adjustment and every movement a deliberate all-in-one sequence with the intent of expecting every fight. When you take a fight, you flick to your enemy because you meant to flick. You aim slower because you meant to aim slower. You stop moving it to expect a swing because you meant to stop, and in your unconcentrated and loose moments where you aren't taking a fight, this is known as your passive aim. Go and check out your most recent game if you have it recorded, and you'll notice some random moments where your crosshair might be out of control and out of position. A lot of the times, this bad crosshair discipline goes unnoticed until you VOD review, which is a good way to fix it. There's a lot of other logical reasons why this happens when you aren't aware of it. It's usually caused by our lapse in our concentration. For maintaining your concentration, the most optimal fix to this is to get your required amount of sleep. But I know some things come up and I'm aware of sleep problems and such. The best you can do is regularly check in with yourself, remind yourself you need to concentrate. Keep in mind your crosshair, and if an enemy were to show up on your screen, always wonder where would they appear from if your teammate doesn't have your back or is holding something else. Before you make the mistake I did in my training, which is stressing about it, just calmly adjust where your crosshair should be and go on with your game. This is just a factor to keep in mind and can be easily fixed. Movement and strafing is easily the most crucial and important skill to learn when you're progressing to the advanced areas of Valorant. To practice this, you can start loading up the range and then strafing the direction you desire and let go of your movement key to get a timing of your own. I also have an aim and movement workout with this skill included in my training that's part of my routine, so stick around. Being comfortable in timing your shots has to be second nature when you are taking aim duels. The point of movement is not to get shot at and reduce the chances of getting heavily damaged and to get information. One golden tip: the second you see an enemy on your screen, strafe the opposite direction quickly. This will guarantee to mess up the first shot accuracy and you gain half a second advantage to win your fight. Other than that, VOD review the aim duels you lost and keep these 3 movement questions in mind. Did you crouch too early? Did you just stop and shoot? Did your movement cause a firing error? My warm-up is my preference and may not be ideal for everyone, but I like setting up a clock for 5 minutes to do my favorite scenario called Rush, which can be found in the CSGO hub. This specific map has helped me improve getting comfortable with my mouse space and can test your pressure and endurance. I like it because it leaves you no space nor a break. It's just constant aiming without stopping and it doesn't end. But if you want a similar experience in Valorant, just loading up the default practice and aiming non-stop for 10 minutes is good enough. The next 5 minutes of my warm-up I spend on fast aim reflex. This definitely can test your tracking and gets the reaction ready for hoarding enemies rushing at you from the same angle. Now the aim routine that I do religiously and recommend is Nat's routine, which consists of 15 of 100 elimination bots, 30 of hard bots, and 5 death matches. That's not all though. When you're doing your 100 eliminations, make sure for the last 5, you stand in the middle and hold the direction key and track the bot until you're ready to shoot. I call this the hot feet workout. The goal is to train your timing so that it becomes second nature to strafe and be accurate. Now, I recommend you to do this routine when you're ready to stop playing Valorant and you're ready to hit the hay. Your brain does amazing on the rate at work at fixing corrections and memorizing your mechanics at a consistent level. It improves your comfortability in your mouse space, you feel one with your sensitivity, your head level aiming gets better, and the work you put in can boost your confidence. I started seeing big improvements at day 10 of just doing this and keeping all this in mind, being disciplined with, my training. Well, that's all that I wanted to cover for this video, and I plan on making 2 more videos after this to give y'all the best of my knowledge of the game. Until then, we'll see you at practice. Thank you for checking this out.
It just flows.
Like a sentence.
Like a sentence, yeah. Like a piano piece. Like, a sequence of movements. If you've got, in martial arts, you've got,
Yeah.
So what we found was that before sleep, you've got these big problem points, these gaps in your motor skill learning. Sleep does not necessarily improve the places where you're already good. Sleep is intelligent. It goes in, finds that problem point, that friction point in your motor skill sort of deficit, and it smooths it out so you come back the next day and now it's just 4-1-3-2-4, 4-1-3-2-4, 4-1-3. It's automaticity, and it's exactly what you're describing. Speak to musicians, they'll say, I was playing, I just couldn't get that piece the night before, and then I came back the next day and I sat down and I could just play.